Well, welcome everybody to Puppy Scouts. Puppy Scouts is our newest program in Scouts BSA, and we are going to be loyal and friendly and cheerful, of course, because we're puppies. We're going to experience the best of scouting. Puppy Scouts will, of course, be a part of existing packs, troops, teams, and crews, and they'll be invited on several select campouts and backpacking trips, as long as they have their own gear and are current in their rabies vaccine.
Do we count them in dog years?
Oh, good question. Yeah, should be aware of that because there are some YPT things we should keep in mind.
Very important to keep in mind.
Yes.
Oh no, Matt doesn't want to cooperate.
What do we
with us
know?
tonight.
It's just
Imagine that.
technology. It's always making us into
And it
April-
is that day of the year.
April 1st is April Fool's Day. Well, here's a puppy being very patriotic. Let's join the puppy and let's do our normal Pledge of Allegiance and opening. So please join me if you're wearing a uniform, salute. If you are in casual attire, please just put your hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Two. Okay, now we're going to do our Scout oath and law.
All right.
I think most of us know it, but just so we can get going. The Scout oath. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country and to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. A Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. Two. And of course, Mark Twain said, "It is easier to fool people than it is to convince them that they have been fooled." And I think I saw a nice quote earlier today, something about you can never trust what you see on the internet, and that was by Abraham Lincoln. So yeah, you got to be careful out there.
All right, Matt. So couple program updates and some information from some other folks around council. Summer camp is coming up. I know somebody already wants to talk to me about summer camp, which is great. The theme this year is Greek myths. Yes. And the Olympics. And you can see our summer camp, the camper patch is up there. The staff patch and leader patch will be revealed shortly. Today is the deadline for the lowest rates, the early bird rate, or for returning units that made their deposit last fall, our loyalty rates. So that's open online. You can sign up for any week. And if we need to move stuff around later, we can certainly help you with that. Our week 5 is going to be 2 activities happening. Eagle Week, so Trail to Eagle, first class and above scouts. Love to have us a nice group for that. We have talking to some special guests that come in. So there'll be a Q&A with Eagle Scouts, best practices, pitfalls along the way, some extra merit badges that aren't typically offered at summer camp, as well as our Eagle Scout merit badges. And then some of our other program areas will be open for recreational programming, but won't be open all week long, such as shooting sports and our climbing wall. And NYLT is that same week, but a little bit more information to come about that later on too. Right, Mary?
Right.
What do you want to share about NYLT? Registration's open.
Registration's open. Very excited. We're looking forward to a great week. Any questions, call me.
In-person training, you want to keep going, Mary? Maybe.
There's Scouts is being held April 13th and 14th at Moses Scout Reservation. We would love to have you. Registration is still open and we will take registration up to the last minute if we have to. We'd be more than happy to have you.
Mr. O'Leary, you have anything you want to share about Leave No Trace?
Sure. So this course is coming up in New Hampshire, one of those new states. New Hampshire, starting in just under a month. No, it's not next month anymore. It's the end of this month, and it's 2 weekends. The course is almost filled, so if you want to sign up, please let me know like tonight or tomorrow.
Awesome. And Greg's here from
Here.
Baloo.
Yeah, we have Baloo coming up May 4th and 5th. Still have room for more people to sign up. So if you haven't signed up, please do so. We're looking to have a good weekend learning about outdoor skills.
Yeah, and a reminder, any pack doing an overnight stay has to have somebody registered in their unit on that camp out, including summer camp as well. A couple people have said these dates aren't great for them. Google, use your favorite search engine for local councils, and those course titles and a number of other options come up as well.
Wanted to make sure everyone is aware that our Scout Shop Saturday for the month of April is this coming Saturday, April the 6th. So please do come on out and patronize the Scout Shop. A note about the Scout Shop right now is that we are beginning to order some of the new product to support the new Cub Scout program. However, because of a cash flow situation, we are trying to get pre-orders from all of you that are going to be ordering that. And the number of items that we keep on the shelf as far as handbooks and the new advancement will be quite low. So please do put in pre-orders to be able to get what you need for that. There will be a minimum number on the shelves for folks to come in and purchase. In terms of membership, we've managed to secure 24 months of month-over-month membership growth. Thank you all for participating in that. And we're looking pretty good already for the month of April. Fairly certain that we will continue and have our 25th month. It's the time of year that many of the spring recruiting season is open. So please do put in your order for any of the supplies you might need, whether it's the inflatable archery range, the canopy, recruiting flyers. We can produce those for you. So please do put those orders in right away. While we're on that, if you're interested in receiving All In for Scouting rewards, part of the changes for this year is to put in recruiting plans for the spring. Those are due on April the 15th, and then there's a date in August for the fall plan. So please do put in your recruiting plans on the web so that you can receive credit for All In for Scouting for recruiting. In terms of fundraising, we've wrapped up the first part of our pancake and syrup sale. We will continue it on. The information has been in the newsletter. There were a number of units that participated. We received about half the orders that we received last year. So we hope that some more of you are going to participate in the pancake and syrup sale. This week, we were just finalizing with Campmaster Popcorn the dates for that, just waiting for them to approve. So those will be announced in the next very short period of time. Friends of Scouting, we're running a little slow in terms of the number of presentations that have happened. Last year during the month of March was one of our heaviest times.
That was interesting effect.
Pink Floyd for that.
That was cool. We're going to continue now is the question.
I don't think you could if you tried. That was awesome.
Wanted to make sure everyone is aware that our Scout Shop set for that, just waiting for them to approve. So those will be announced in the next very short period of time. Friends of Scouting, we're running a little slow in terms of the number of presentations that have happened. Last year during the month of March was one of our heaviest times. This year, March was a little bit lighter. So we're hoping to be able to catch up
Oh my goodness. This is not the day.
during April and May.
Here we
Again,
go.
the object is to have Friends of Scouting all done by the end of June.
All right. And then he had one little.
Just a final reminder about the new membership fees. The national office had originally said that new membership fees were going to become effective as of April 1st. That has been delayed. Those will now go into effect on May 1st. However, the new joining fee of $25 has already been removed. So those that join now won't have to pay the $25 joining fee, but the $5 increase will become effective on May 1st. Also, to let everyone know, it's been in the compass that the council service fee is now going to be collected from everyone at the time that they join, as well as billing the units based on the charter numbers. Again, that's been in the compass, and happy to speak with any of you who have some questions about that.
All right, so a couple awesome events coming up this spring. Dr. Scannell, anything quick you want to add about Eco Challenge?
Just that it is, registration is open. We have a number of participants, Department of Conservation Resources, District Foresters, the Forest Pest Management, Bartlett Tree Service. We have a surveyor, we have the American Chestnut Foundation, we have a weather program by our own Liam Murphy. I encourage you to have your units register early so that we can get organized, figure out how to put the stations out and expose your scout to some excellent career opportunities and educational opportunities directly in the conservation field.
And a little confusion on a couple of units. They were signed up for the event and then we're trying to find campsites. The campsites will be assigned by the camperee. So there's no extra fee for camping. It's included in the fees. And that's the reason you can't find any campsites. There are a couple other sites around Camp Open for out of council units looking for a place to stay while they do local activities as well. But that's included. Brian Regan's here. Anything you want to share about Cub Fun Day?
Yeah, so this is gonna be the day before Mother's Day. That's the easiest way to remember it. And we will not be doing it on Sunday. So this, there's gonna be something going out to unit leaders in not just the Cubs, but also troops and high adventure programs, looking for units to sponsor stations and volunteer. We're also reaching out to some light vendors to see if we can get some cool stuff to come in to do with the kids. One departure from typical Cub days, where we usually have an opening and then events and a closing. We're actually going to bump the closing a little bit earlier in the day as the kids may begin to run out of energy. And then while we're all together, we will kind of activate like a large group activity post-closing. So, people who want to fill out their day will still go through that. Anybody who is ready to go home shortly after lunch will have an opportunity to still close with us. So we're going to give that a try. This also happens to be the same weekend as the ordeal. So while the OA is out there being all quiet, we're going to be out there super loud.
Okay, we have to get the new
So-
candidates ready for
Yeah.
what happens.
Yeah. And then Weeblos Woods, many folks know about that event. It's for current 3rd and 4th graders. Registration is open online. Knights is the theme this year, so I just grabbed one of the logos from a few years ago to put up there. But registration is open, and that's open for 3rd and 4th grade scouts, leaders, den chiefs, and parent or guardian for staying overnight. Speaking of OA, the chief is here. Would you like to share anything about events coming up?
Absolutely. Also a quick update of how Comptup's doing. We have gotten a lot of people, a lot of troops doing their own unit elections. If your unit needs to have an OA election, just go over to the council website. And if you go to the lodge section, there should be a form in our library, so you can go and request the unit election. Upcoming from April 12th to 14th will be Spring Fellowship. The theme is going to be donuts, as voted on by the people from our previous fellowship. And then May 10th through 12th is going to be Galaxy theme, and that's going to be May 10th through 12th. Anyone who is a candidate, make sure you register. Both are open for registration. And then June 7th through 9th is our second conclave. That'll be held at Camp Strang down in Connecticut. Gasset Lodge would be the hosting lodge. The theme for that is Dare to Explore. And then July 29th and 13th is going to be NOAC, the National Board of the Year Conference. That will be held at the University of Colorado Boulder. The theme for that is Seek New Heights. It's a lot of things. People that are registered already know where we're going. I don't think we have any open spots, but I think there's a wait list. It's a slim option, but. And then September 27th through 29th is our fall of year. We do not have a theme for that so far, so keep your ears open to, but that's also far away.
Far away. Some save the dates. Thank you, Jackson. Fritz, would you like to talk about Philmont now? Because David's going to share just a little bit about a survey about upcoming interest in high adventure.
Well, I do have 2 slides, so I don't know if those are in the list there somewhere, or I can, if you want to share my screen, I can show them, but if
Yeah,
my slides are in there later or not at all.
I don't know if I got your slides. Do you have them to share?
I have them and I can share them.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, good evening, everyone. As you can see, I'm wearing my Philmont Ambassador halo this evening. For those of you who are interested in training and growing your training experience, you can do that at Philmont Training Center. These are some of the courses which are available this summer. The course descriptions for every single one of these is available at the Philmont Scout Ranch .org/PTC website. That's the Philmont Training Center website. And there's something here for everybody. So you can see, I hope that there's a Commissioner Week. There is a Scout Training Week for Wood Badge and other trainings that are available at the council level. There are trainings available for Cub Scouters. This one right at the top here, June 23 to 29, is focused on the new Cub Scout program. So there's that for you. There is a Scouts BSA week. There's something here for everybody. I'm not going to get into the prices. Those are available at the website, and there's often a lot of diversity in those prices. I want to show you one more slide, if I may. This is the other thing that Philmont Training Center does. It is the BSA Adventure Camp. If you don't want to be trained, if you just want to take your family and have fun in a Western environment, I think this is the place to go. There are a variety of experiences. They're listed here. This flyer is available at the Council Training Center. You might have to ask for it because they're Florida adventure focused as opposed to Western, but there's hiking, there's horseback riding, you can go fly fishing. The BSA National Museum is located there. Down the road is the Kit Carson Museum, which is very, very interesting. The Handicraft Lodge is open in the evenings and the afternoons. There's daycare available for younger children. Family Adventure is designed to be a family program. So for younger youth or older youth, there are different focused programs and parents go with their kids to enjoy these things. So this is really a very exciting program. If you're looking for a vacation in a Midwestern environment, these are some of this is a brief mention of the programs that are offered at the training center. Here again is the website, Philmont Scout Ranch .org, PTC. There's a great introductory video when you sign into the training center website. It's 8 minutes. You should watch it. It's a lot of fun. And it will give you a very good overview of everything that they do there, everything you can do there when you go. So thank you very much for your attention on this. I really appreciate it. And I hope you make the effort to get out there. If not this year, go next year and have an enjoyable time with Scouters from around the country. And you might meet people from other parts of the world who come to Philmont as well. It's a wonderful experience. I've been there 7 times and have never been disappointed.
Thank you, Fritz. All right. Almost there. So
And I
Jay,
will, yeah, I can start talking about
Yep.
high adventure a little bit. So, in 2025, there are no national jamborees and no National Order of the Arrow conferences. So your older scouts are probably wondering what they're going to do. So, and I know many troops, wow, I could even be on the screen. Here we go. A lot of troops don't have a huge number of older scouts. So, you may want to still do some kind of high adventure. So for the summer of 2025, basically kind of surveying all of the troops to try to understand if you're interested and if you have older scouts who are interested in doing a high adventure trip. This slide here shows the 4 national high adventure bases, Philmont in Mexico that Fritz just talked about, Northern Tier up in Minnesota. There's the Summit in West Virginia and Florida Sea Base, which is in Florida. So 4 options. There are also options that are closer to us up in Massachusetts, in New York, Maine, and other places close by in the Northeast that would be probably shorter trips and a little less expensive too. So there's a link here. This is not a commitment, but basically just a quick survey. If you click on this link, which I guess you can't click on, we'll put it in the chat. And this will be in the the compass also. But take that survey and basically it's really short, basically asking, do you have scouts who are interested in this? And what kinds of things are they interested in? I also put together a page that talks about the different bases and kind of what they are, about how much it would cost, about how long a trip would be, just so folks have some information to make those kinds of decisions. But I would ask, if you don't need to fill this out right away, talk to your scouts, see what they think. But if you can fill it out by the end of April, that will give us time during May to make a decision, come up with a budget, follow up with you, and then make an announcement in June. So there's time for you to plan and fundraise and all that, which we would work with scouts on all of that stuff. And last thing to say is just, we would also need adult leaders to go. So if you're an adult and you're interested, just let me know. And there's also a question in the survey about that. So again, reach out if you have any questions, and my contact information is on the survey. Thanks.
Where'd you say that, link would be?
It's right there. It will be in the chat. It will be on this recording, and you can talk to me right afterward, or you can also look in the Compass, the weekly email news that will go out.
Thank you.
Sure.
and Matt already put it in the chat for those of you out there.
Thanks, Matt.
Cheryl's going to talk about Cub Scout program and that breakout. So this is just a quick screen reminder, some new things coming up. And program launch is looking forward here, but I'm sure there'll be information about the new Cub Scout program, all of our programs and membership and popcorn and all that type of stuff for next year available, including the high adventure trips and Philmont training centers, opportunities on June 3rd up at Moses. So registration is already available. It's free. You can log on at whatever time, let us know that you're planning to come. Just include numbers. So no need to do it today, but it is open and ready for you all. All right, Matt. Who's next?
Okay. Mr. Dr. Steve Scannell is going to talk about our hot topic. And he's going to discuss council and district committee member, kind of the role of the chartered organization representative. Steve is a chartered organization representative himself and has a lot of experience with this, so he's our expert of the night.
All right, well, just for a little background, to help with the charter organization of the Scouts, there's a federal charter between the US government and the BSA that's very similar to the charter organization relationship that we're used to with the BSA and our chartered organizations. So BSA is a program that's developed with the mission of the BSA and aims and methods of scouting as the guiding principles. They provide the training, outdoor programs, advancement framework, and advice and expertise to handle concerns or problems that may arise in delivering the program. BSA charters organizations to run the scouting program. They don't run a pack, they don't run a troop, and similar to a franchise or an owner-operator relationship. The charter organization uses the Scout program to help deliver the promise of scouting, and through the Scout program, help promote its own mission to the youth it serves. Part of the chartering organization's agreements are to use the Scout program as developed by the BSA, provide a safe and comfortable facility for the units to meet, appoint a charter organization rep to serve as a point of contact and as a voting representative at the council level, and to select appropriate adult leaders. The BSA Council has responsibilities in the agreement as well, to respect the organization's mission and values, to provide training for adult leaders, to provide camping opportunities so that we can deliver that outdoor program, and to provide professional staff for the guidance. So the role of the charter organization rep, someone like myself, is to serve as a liaison between the charter organization units and the council structure, specifically or directly to the district, working closely with the unit commissioner. To encourage unit leaders and committee members to take advantage of training opportunities, to serve as one of the key three with the unit leader and the committee chair, to serve on the district committee and as a voting representative at the council annual meeting, help with the rechartering process, promote well-planned unit programs, encourage pursuit of the Journey to Excellence goals, encourage recognition of leaders, to ensure approved unit finance policies, and to review adult leader applications. Sometimes we have to assist in conflict situations. So basically, it's to immerse ourselves in the Scout program and just be there for the unit. That's it.
Thank you, Dr. Scannell. Next on our agenda, we have a short topic Greg is going to speak on regarding how to report service projects as a unit. He has pulled up on his screen and will be sharing the advancements website, and he'll discuss the process for that.
All right, get this stuff. Alrighty. Yeah, so this is Internet Advancement 2.0. Now, when you log in as a unit leader in that, it's now going to say Scout Book Plus Internet Advancement. And if you haven't seen it, Scout Book as we know it is discontinuing, but the tools are moving over to Internet Advancement and are going to be using a more modern coding language. So that's been happening little by little. So I'm in my own unit. They gave me administrative rights to go in here. And so I would have my roster, my calendar for the group, my personal profile reports, and then activity logs. And this is the screen you see for April. So this past weekend, we had a new event. They did some service hours. So there's camping nights in here, hiking and service hours. I would need to go into Saturday. And I'm going to create that new event. So this was Scouts were helping set up a fire for the church services. I can add in the address. I can do that later. It was not a Eagle Scout project. So some folks are used to that. Years ago, you didn't report Eagle hours. That happened somewhere else. You can and should include Eagle hours now in here as well. So service project type, what was it for? Let's see, anything here makes sense? I'm just going to say other, unorganized. And here's a place that I could put in any youth that were not part of our unit that may have helped out, or adults. That wasn't the case this particular time. But you might have some like a community cleanup, and you might have parents and siblings and friends that help out. That would be a part of that. Let's see. Now I need to add people. And these are going to be our scout individuals. So I can scroll down through them. They're alphabetical by last name. Or, so I know Andrew was one, but I could also type in parts of their name and it will find them for them. So I'm just grabbing the folks that were literally just sent to me a moment ago. Let's see, Day and Brown. And unfortunately, they didn't send me any of the adults that were there. So I'll have to do that at a later time, put them in. And you want to include everybody that helps out. So if you have scouts there, leaders there, and then the non-scouts, include them. This all becomes a part of our record that council can use, and the National Council can use about what impact scouting has on our communities. So individuals, somehow, I think I missed a part. Oh, here it is, all day event. It was not. It was 7:20 p.m. to 8:20 p.m. And that should help calculate hours for everybody, I'm hoping. But it didn't, so everybody got an hour. Usually that auto populates. I think it may be because I put them in previously. But record and finish, and that now will populate on your calendar as an event. Something I'll just highlight, in the calendar feature, this is something they're saying is coming soon. That when you add in a camping event, we had a camping event recently. Down towards the bottom now, they have a place for camping nights, hiking nights, and service hours. And I'm saying a camping event, any event, that you're going to be able to log all of those things as part of your calendar event. So look for that coming soon, but that is not until the old Scout Book calendar completely disappears. I think, unless there's questions here.
Well, a great demo, Greg. Thank you for showing. It's a lot easier than any prior method I've seen for recording service hours.
Yeah, and that all, you need to do that for All In for Scouting credits for 2024 for next year's incentives. Have them recorded, some service hours recorded in the system.
Good. Okay, next on our agenda, I have Mary Benjamin, who is here to speak a little bit about safety. The topic is hazard trees.
Yes, tree hazards. So according to the US Forest Service, our nation's forests are experiencing some severe, what's the word I'm looking for, declining health. And because of that, the concerns, well, what's causing it is, the insect manifestations, all the creepy crawlies that now attack all the trees, but also just declining health, a lot of root rot, and things of that nature. So, and the weather's been really unpredictable as well. So it's causing some interesting things with the trees. So because of that, our safety moment today just addresses the fact that we want you to pay attention when you're selecting a place to either do parking or campsites or anything of that. Make sure you're paying attention to what's going on around you. Look up, look down, look everywhere, actually. You're going to find things like widowmakers and rotted trees and things that you absolutely don't want to let people set up against. You don't want to put, a lot of people are taking up the whole hammocking thing. You definitely don't want a hammock on a rotted tree. So you want to make sure that you're paying attention to all those things before the youth are setting up. I will say from my own experience, the youth are very unhappy when you make them move their site after they've said, oh, this is where we're going to set up. And then you look up and there's a couple widowmakers. And a lot of it's communication too with your youth. So basically what you want to do is, scope out the area first and then make your decisions on where you're going to be setting up your campsites. Once you've done that, you also want to pay attention to any of the weather that's coming in. A storm that crops up pretty fast. If there's trees that are a little bit on the iffy side, You know, a bad storm could come in and blow some trees down. And keep in mind when you are setting up your site as a guideline, you want to set up at least the height of the tree plus a half, so 1.5 times the height of the tree for the area that you want to avoid when you're setting up your camp area. So don't put a tent 5 feet from the tree thinking it's going to be okay, because if the weather comes, you're absolutely gonna, you know, be in that hazard area. So pretty much that's it. Just make sure you're paying attention to your surroundings, and watch out for the trees that could maybe not be the best thing ever.
Thank you very much, Mary.
Thank you.
Okay, so we are at that point in our program where we break out into our different rooms.
The purpose of the updates is to make the Cub program fun for the Cub Scouts, for the parents, for the leaders, to make the program easy, simpler to understand and simple to explain. Because if you can explain it easily to new members, they're more likely to join. And for leaders, it's supposed to be easier to deliver. Next slide. About 23,000 leaders and parents were surveyed. And the results of those surveys over the past 4 or 5 years led to the discovery of 4 areas of friction and complexity that were identified. These included Bobcat. It was confusing. Why would there be one program that would adequately meet the needs of a kindergartner as well as a 5th grader with all the same requirements? People wanted a change. The leaders were finding that some of the Cub Scout adventures seemed disjointed, and they were noticing some of the Cubs weren't as enthusiastic about them. The Webelos program was found to cause a lot of confusion because it doesn't follow the regular pattern of 1 rank per grade. And the 4th area that was identified had to do with the Cub Scout Awards program. It was discovered that that really wasn't in the line of sight of a lot of the leaders. In fact, only on average, 1.5% of Cub Scouts ever earned one of those awards. So in the new program, starting June 1st, these are your requirements. There will be 6 required adventures and 2 elective adventures. That's it. So if you highlight, you'll see the 6 required adventures. It should. And then 2 electives, and you'll have a large selection of electives to choose from. That's it. Those are the requirements, right? And so you're going to be able to explain to people that in Cub Scouting, each grade level has its own special badge that they'll be working towards. And to earn the badge of rank, a Cub Scout earns the 6 required awards called adventures that are based on the values of scouting, and then 2 adventures, the electives of their own choosing. We can go on to the next slide. The Bobcat adventure is now going to be earned at every rank. It's been reauthored so that the requirements apply to the age group. So Lions will have different requirements from Bears and Webelos and Arrow of Light. Here are some of the synopsis of the requirements, so that at the Lion level, the kids are going to basically be meeting each other, figuring out who's in their den. Once you get to the Bear level, 3rd grade, really going to look at what we're currently used to seeing. But when they get to 5th grade, the Arrow of Light Scouts will not be looking at the Cub Scout program, but will be looking at Scout BSA concepts and an introduction to the patrol method. There will be common activities for every adventure at every rank. So this means that if you have a small pack, or if you have multi-rank dens, which a number of units do, particularly young units that are just starting out, you're going to be able to find a common activity that you will be able to do for that whole entire group, so they will all be working on the same thing. The purpose of this is simply to get for this one that we're showing here, this is to take a walk. It's called a walk, not a hike, and the purpose is basically to get the kids outside. The required adventures are designed to make it easy for den leaders working with the multi-ranked dens. It's also easier for packs to plan activities that count towards the adventures. And this will also allow them to work together, den leaders to work together to plan activities. All these activities and requirements are meant to focus on the outcomes and then to allow for flexibility and creativity when you're trying to complete them. All of these were vetted by survey with current leaders and received positive feedback. A little side story is that when Bobcat was initially presented as reauthored, it didn't get positive feedback. So they had to go back and they had to revise it until it does work. So everything that we are seeing is being vetted, and the committees will be looking at comments from leaders and parents and responses from scouts, and changes will be made as needed. That's something that lets them do this. The awards have been reimagined. They're not going away. They're being reimagined to become adventures, mostly elective adventures. They weren't being used and they weren't being earned. But the objective was to create an awareness of the subject that they represented. And the idea was to have the greatest number of Cub Scouts exposed to the concepts, and that will be happening now. Now, the Summertime Pack Award is probably the first one that you're going to encounter this year, starting in June, in your packs. And this is going to be the Summertime Fun Adventure. It has one requirement. That will be anytime during June through August, participate in a total of 3 Cub Scout activities. Earning the adventure will be for a Cub Scout, not dependent on how many others in the pack participate. So what this means is that if you current Lions will earn the Tiger Summertime Fun Adventure this summer. And Bears will earn the Webelos this summer. Okay? So you're going to earn the adventure for your new rank. And attending day and short-term and long-term pup camp counts. Keep that in mind. Another improvement is looking at the most popular activities that the Cub children would like to do. And what they discovered, both boys and girls wanted fishing, camping, bike riding. And then, of course, almost every pack does a Pinewood Derby or some type of derby. So the program updates now allow for easier program delivery for the multi-ranked dens for these packs. The electives will be available across all the ranks. So again, you're going to be able to easily host events around these elective activities, and every Cub Scout can earn an adventure that way. So hopefully that'll make the planning a little easier and more fun. Same thing with STEM activities. The formal STEM program is not being held as STEM Scouting now, but STEM is heavily represented in the Cub Adventures. And on the screen, the bold ones are new. So you can see all new ones have been added for technology, a lot of new ones for math. But there are STEM activities for all the areas at every rank, and there'll be some common activities there. This is a listing of all the Cub electives. The light colored ones are existing, and the existing have been reauthored. So they've been checked, they've been evaluated, if need be, they've been reauthored. The darker color are new ones, and the colors at the bottom, the very, very deep colored ones, are the ones that need to be done at a council or district level. Let's take a look at the arrow of light. We've seen this slide before, but if you click on it, right, we'll see the arrow of light is now a standalone program. We've been used to having Webelos and Arrow of Light be a fourth, fifth grade program that was deemed confusing by some parents and leaders and so now it's two separate programs. The fourth grade program is strictly for Webelos, but fifth graders will have Arrow of Light. It's a standalone badge or rank separate from the Webelos. And the purpose is it's designed to prepare Cub Scouts for Scouts BSA. It's only for fifth graders. Scouts should not begin working on the Arrow of Light until they've completed fourth grade. So, and you probably saw the slide earlier this evening, that current fourth graders, current Webelos, should not begin working on the next level, but they should do those Webelos or electives that will not be available to them next year, such as Aquanaut, Art Explosion, Aware and Care, Build It, Earth Rockets, and Modular Design. Modular Design is new, and the new pin will be out for that. By the way, Webelos and Arrow of Light don't get the belt loops. The Webelos get the diamond-shaped pins, and the Arrow of Light Scouts get the arrow-shaped pin, and they will still have the colors. Now, for all of these updates, the Cub Committee collaborated with Scouts BSA, particularly on the Webelos and Arrow of Light requirements, the electives and the required adventures. And they were designed to keep the program consistent with crossing over to the troop by January or February. This is the Arrow of Light Bobcat Adventure. You see that and Arrow of Light Scouts should visit the troop as early as possible in the year. So rather than waiting, if they can meet, over the summer or very early in September, I would recommend talking to Scoutmasters now and making arrangements. Scoutmasters should be becoming more aware of this and should know that they're going to start seeing Webelos early in the season. This is the uniforming. Fourth grade Webelos should be using the blue uniform, and the fifth grade will be wearing the tan shirts. They won't be needing hats or neckerchiefs, but they should wear the blue epaulets. The thinking behind this is that those Webelos in the blue uniform will still be able to wear their bear badge for a little bit longer. And the Webelos badge, the oval badge, really has just go on the tan shirt. Handbooks. There will be new handbooks. The lion and tiger handbooks have been expanded. They'll be nearly twice the size. They're the same size, physical size pages, but there's going to be a page for every adventure. So the books will be about 64 pages for those with activities. The artwork is something that the kids will probably recognize, the same artists that are doing artwork for Scouting Magazine will be doing that. And the size of the books for Wolf, Bear, Webelos, and now Arrow of Light, about the same size, same format that we're used to seeing. The differences are that every book has the grade on the front cover and a space for the Cub's name on the front cover instead of the back. But on the back, there will be covered tabs that kind of will help you navigate where to find a particular adventure. Each adventure will also have a QR code that you'll be able to scan. It will take you to the page for that adventure. So parents will be able to find the materials, and particularly when you're looking at Bobcat, which for every rank has that recommendation for youth protection, they'll be able to click on or scan that QR code and get immediately to that training piece. So each adventure will be a chapter there. Now, the leader resources are also changing. They're not available yet, but they will be up online June 1st, and they're going to be at scouting.org. You don't even need to go into my.scouting, it's just scouting.org. You're going to get to pick the Cub program, pick your rank, The next slide will take you to the adventures, starting with Bobcat, and then you'll be able to choose the required adventures, the elective adventures that you want. So click, and that will get you to an adventure page. That will give a brief synopsis of the activity, a picture of the belt loop or the pin. It'll give you a link to the safety moment that goes along, that's coordinated with that. And it'll tell you what the requirements are. Typically, there'll be 4 to 5 requirements per adventure. They'll also have activity cards for each requirement. They'll give you selections or choices. On this slide, we see we have choices for the get to know members of your den, but you only pick one of those, not all 3. So you just pick one of them. When you pick the activity card, the next page gives you, this is an example of the information, kind of decoding that activity card. The icons will give you an idea if it's an indoor, outdoor, or travel activity. It'll let you know the energy level. Very low, calm activity. The kids are kind of sitting down, or maybe they're doing some skilled crafts, or maybe it's very high energy and they're running and you're chasing. Supplies will also let you know. No supplies needed. Just pick it up and go. Average, maybe some low cost craft supplies, or custom, where, you know, there's some uncommon supplies that you're going to have to purchase and search for. There'll also be an icon for the prep time. This might be an activity that you can just pick up and go immediately with. Some might require a couple of days or a week ahead of time, or a trip might take more than a week to plan. This is the page for the actual activity. Again, you have that snapshot, and then you have a detailed supply list, and you have directions. In some of the activities or adventures, you'll have a link to more information, including videos and demonstrations that you'll be able to see. And this is a page that shows where you can find the information. Scan the QR code on any of the social media, you'll get to the program links. And the site is www.scouting.org/program-updates. That gets you to all of the updates that are coming out. And that applies to not only to Cubs, but to Scouts BSA and the other programs as well. So I'm trying to check those weekly because they are coming out. The one on knife skills just came out. So that knife skills that are being taught in the Cub program, there's an explanation of that. Okay. Any questions on this?
Where the scout rank is part of the other one. Is that not the case?
No, Scout rank, the last part of the book, of the Arrow of Light book, contains an introduction to the requirements for Scout rank, but they can't begin working on it. I don't know how that's going to look. If they've got the explanation, I haven't seen the book. Have you, Greg?
I haven't seen all the content, but the idea was that they'll have that book as they cross over into the troop and have the basic information to be able to get started if they don't have their scout book yet.
And they won't need, theoretically, they don't need the Scout book until the end of that school year. So that the Webelos handbook should serve the Scout all the way from Arrow of Light, or the Arrow of Light, I'm sorry, the Arrow of Light book should serve that child from beginning of 5th grade through the end of 5th grade.
Well, unless they want to work.
Right, but they wouldn't earn Scout rank until they become a Scout.
That was posted somewhere, but I wasn't sure.
No, well, what I am hearing, and the reason we're presenting this, and this presentation originally came from Anthony Berger and Audrey Oakes. Anthony is the staff advisor, Audrey is the volunteer chairperson of the National Cub Scout Committee. And they've come out and they've spoken, they spoke at one of our conferences in November that was held in the Worcester area. They've also been speaking regularly to the program leads for the territories. And I was serving as the program lead for our territory. So Anthony Berger and Audrey were presenting almost monthly, and they made this available to us. So what they're telling us is that, the information will be there, but they're not going to be able to work on it, until they become scouts, and then they can use that book as a resource for that year.
Our chartered organizations form the foundation of the BSA's unit structure. The Boy Scouts of America issues annual charters to religious, community, and education-based organizations whose objectives, missions, and methodologies align with those of the BSA. A strong relationship between your chartered organization and your troop lets the organization knows there is much more to sponsoring the unit than providing a place to meet. Your chartered organization has selected scouting as the key part in achieving the entity's purposes and missions in your community. Your chartered organization is effectively a franchisee or owner-operator of the scouting program. By receiving a charter from the Boy Scouts of America, the chartered organization agrees to do the following: conduct scouting in accordance with its own policies and guidelines as well as those of the BSA, include scouting as part of its overall program for youth and families, appoint a chartered organization representative who is a member of the organization and will represent it to scouting as a voting member of the district and the council. Select a troop committee of parents and members of the organization who will screen and select troop leadership who meet the organization's and BSA leadership standards. Provide adequate and secure facilities for the troop to meet on a regular schedule with time and place reserved, along with encouraging the troop to participate in outdoor experiences. The relationship between the troop and the chartered organization can be richly rewarding for each party, but like any relationship, both must put in some effort. Consider the following to help strengthen the relationship with the chartered organization. Show appreciation of the chartered organization's generous support through service and other events important to the chartered organization. Ensure the chartered organization representative is kept informed about all unit events and plans. Invite chartered organization representatives to committee meetings. Better yet, he or she should be an active part of the unit committee. Encourage open communication and seek the advice of your chartered organization representative so the troop is known as part of the organization. Your troop should be aware of your chartered organization's activity schedule, if not already doing so, and include it in your troop's annual plan, so the troop can be engaged similar to other groups sponsored by the chartered organization. Knowing the activity schedule will help solidify the relationship and provide an opportunity for the chartered organization to use scouting to further its goals. Your troop can show gratitude through increased support of the chartered organization by doing some of the following. Be a part of an annual service day that includes grounds and facilities maintenance. Support decorating for special occasions, such as a religious holiday, or for community activities like Veterans Day or Independence Day events, depending on your chartered organization's interests. Help at fundraising events with volunteer service, like a pancake breakfast or a chili feed that benefits the chartered organization's program. Participate in Scout Sunday or Scout Sabbath in uniform. Participate in community parades, rallies, or special events along with the chartered organization. Other special service opportunities and projects are also good ways to show the unit's appreciation. Scouting may be a part of a religious institution's way to offer youth engagement in the community or entry point to their mission. Local civic groups often sponsor scouting units as part of their community service initiatives. So be sure your troop knows your charter organization's mission. Voice of the Scout surveys scouting families and chartering organizations. Voice of the Scout data indicates BSA chartered organizations believe strongly in the program, but they frequently report wishing the unit did more for their institution. If your troop is not currently engaged in providing service to its chartered organization a few times a year, consider sitting down with your chartered organization representative and ask how your unit can more actively give back to the organization. Building a healthy relationship based on mutual support allows your troop and your chartering organization an opportunity to maximize the benefits of scouting in our communities. We encourage working to continue growing this relationship. Try to make that bond as strong as possible. Show your chartering organization that having a troop was a great decision, and you and your chartering organization will continue working together to make a difference in your community. Please take the rest of the time during this breakout session to discuss the questions on the screen. Thank you for all you do for Scouting.
So just so you know, next month we will be hybrid again. The plan is to meet hybrid again here. So if you have the opportunity to come to Westfield, please join us. Otherwise, you're welcome again to join remotely as you did this evening. Some of our topics we'll be discussing are fundraising applications, succession planning and recruiting volunteers, how to deal with homesickness. Our Cub Scout program updates will continue to be presented, and the Scouts, BSA's crews and ships will be discussing some outdoor adventure opportunities here in New England. So hopefully that's something that interests you, and please come like you have been, but also invite a friend, invite another parent, another leader to join. We'd love to see as many people on these meetings as possible, because this is how we try to communicate with everybody. Okay. So is there anything else you'd like to share, Greg? Okay, I guess we have a moment. If you have any questions, you're welcome to put them in the chat. Otherwise, thank you everybody for joining. We'll see you next month on May 6th. And Fritz, you have the closing actually. So I know you said you had prepared. So if you would like to share your screen, you're welcome to do that and offer our closing.
Okay, I don't have this to show.
Okay.
This is Baden-Powell's last message. And keep in mind, it was written 100 years ago. Dear Scouts, if you have ever seen the play Peter Pan, you will remember how the pirate chief was always making his dying speech because he was afraid that possibly when the time came for him to die, he might not have time to get it off his chest. It is much the same with me. And so, although I am not at this moment dying, I shall be doing so one of these days, and I want to send you a parting word of goodbye. Remember, it is the last you will ever hear from me, so think it over. I have had a most happy life, and I want each one of you to have a happy life too. I believe that God put us on this jolly world to be happy and enjoy life. Happiness doesn't come from being rich or merely from being successful in your career, nor by self-indulgence. One step towards happiness is to make yourself healthy and strong while you are a boy, so that you can be useful and so can enjoy life when you are a man. Nature study will show you how full of beautiful and wonderful things God made the world for you to enjoy. Be contented with what you have got and make the best of it. Look on the bright side of things instead of the gloomy one. But the real way to get happiness is by giving out happiness to other people. Try and leave this world a little better than you found it. And when your turn comes to die, you can die happy in feeling that at any rate you have not wasted your time, but have done your best. Be prepared in this way to live happy and to die happy. Stick to your Scout promise always, even after you have ceased to be a boy. And God help you to do it. Your friend, Ben Pohl of Gilwell.
Thank you very much, Fritz. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Hope you have a good evening, and we'll see you next month.